Hey, what's up, everybody? Eddie Christian here, owner, operator, CEO of C34 Personal Training and Fitness. I'm not one that's really big on talking about myself, but a lot of people have asked me a little bit more to talk a little bit more about my background and how this all came about. I've been in the fitness industry now since 2003, full time as an owner of my own business. But I can tell you that coming up, I never thought this is where I was going to end up. You see, I grew up in a small little country town called Cadiz, Ohio. And for those of you who do not know where Cad is, and I say Cadiz because I've heard it pronounced as Cadiz and Cadiz, but it's pronounced Cadiz, Ohio. For those of you who do not know where that's at, it's a little small town in Harrison Hills, Eastern Ohio. I typically tell people, if you don't know where Cadiz is, do you know where Steubenville is? Or do you know where Youngstown is? And when I say that, people get more of an idea. But it's about 30 minutes west of Steubenville, so in that part of the state. So again, growing up in a small country town, again, limited things to do, not a whole lot of opportunity there. So again, I kind of grew up as an only child out in the country and really had to learn to kind of fend for myself. I spent a whole lot of time playing video games, riding my bike, even had a go-kart coming up in the day, so I was able to ride around, but got chased by the neighbor's dogs more times than I got to actually ride the go-kart. But it was still just a great childhood, and I take nothing from my childhood. Absolutely love it. Love my parents. Grew up with great parents who always were there for me, took care of me. But again, that small town, there just wasn't a lot there. And just to be honest with you, I was a kid that I kind of got in my fair share of troubles from time to time. A lot of it was just out of boredom. But truthfully, it was just one of them things where I was either playing sports or I was getting in trouble. So I got really good at sports because I didn't like getting in trouble. So I did become, pretty good at sports. I went on to play football, basketball, track and field all through middle school, all through high school. Did help my team get to the state playoffs in football for the first time in school history my senior year as a tailback. I did end up running for 1,400 yards that year as a senior, as a tailback. Just had a great career, loved my teammates, loved my coaches and everything about that community. But what happened was, being in that environment, being in that small town atmosphere, you create this thing called work ethic. You had to work hard for everything. Again, I mentioned we made the state playoffs. I want to say our team maybe had about 25 to 30 players on it, if that. I don't even know if we had that, to be honest. I mean, when I think back, it's been a while. I'm 45 years old now. But when I think back to that 91, 92 season, we just had a handful of players, and we weren't the biggest guys on the field. Matter of fact, I was only about 170 pounds myself coming out of school my senior year. So you think of the work ethic and the mindset that we had to battle with the top of the line players, players bigger than us, players faster than us, players even with just as much talent or more talent than us. But we had work ethic, we had desire, we had determination, and we went on to have a lot of success. But that was instilled in all of us coming from that small blue collar community. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get that same work ethic in other ways, but I can tell you that from coming from that blue collar community, the main thing that I took from that was hard work and being there for your fellow brother. Okay. So, fast forward, I get out of college and I'm working in the coal mines. I'm providing for my family, working hard. But the whole time I had this creativity going on in my mind of starting a business. Didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to do it, but I knew that working just a 9 to 5 wasn't for this guy. And I commend anybody who does it. Get up, go to work hard, come home, and get up and repeat it again the next day. If that's you, great job, provide for yours, but it just wasn't for me. I knew that I wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to be a business owner. And at the time, again, I really didn't know what that meant. I didn't really understand what came with that. I just knew that I wanted something different than the normal 9 to 5. So after the coal mine, I did go on and start working for the Department of Corrections because the fact is, I went to college from 92 to 96. And in 96, after my senior year in ball, I tried out for the pros. I didn't make any of the pro teams, and I ended up dropping out of school after that spring. because I got married and my wife and I had a baby. And I just decided that at that time, it was more important to work than to finish school. 5 years later, that relationship didn't work out. We ended up getting a divorce. And right before that, though, I just made the decision that I wanted to finish what I started. So when her and I kind of went our separate ways, I took it upon myself to enroll back in school and take that as a lesson for all young folks watching this. It's never too late. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. It's never too late. But at the time, I was 26, had been out of school for 5 years, and I decided to go back and finish. So I went back, got a job working for the Department of Corrections. Did that while I was finishing my degree, finished my degree, continued working for the Department of Corrections for a couple years, and then I got laid off. Who knew? Got laid off, and it was at that moment, that made the defining moment in my life of, do you want to keep doing the 9 to 5? Of course, I was working second shift then, which I think was 2 to 10, but do you want to keep doing the same thing day in and day out? Or do you want to take a chance at something different? And at that point, I made the decision that I needed something different. So after really evaluating my life, evaluating what was I good at, what could I make a business out of, I realized that as an athlete, I loved to be in shape. I was still, working out, and I knew that I wanted to help other people do the same. So that's where the idea of becoming a personal trainer came into mind. Now, again, business wasn't on the radar at that time. I just knew I wanted to do something different with my life. So I became a certified personal trainer, and I figured, hey, I can do this long enough to make some extra money until they call me back from the layoff. And that's what I did. So I worked for 9 months as a personal trainer before I got the phone call to come back to my job for the state of Ohio Corrections. Well, the truth, that's when I really had to do some serious thinking, because I fell in love with the personal training industry, fell in love with what I was doing, and realized at some way I wanted to keep doing that. But where I was working, I knew that it was either one or the other. I couldn't continue to work in the fitness industry if I went back to the Department of Corrections, because I was working in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as a personal trainer, and state of Ohio in corrections, and there was way too much of a gap between the two places. And truthfully, I just really didn't think that there was going to be much of a career in the Ohio Valley as a trainer back in 2001, I believe it was. So that's really where I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to make the switch. I think I'm going to take a chance, and I think I'm just going to turn down the getting called back from the layoff and pursue fitness full time. And that's what I did. I took a huge risk, but I decided to pursue personal training full time. So I walked away from that offer that they offered for me to have my job back, and I went full time into training and never looked back. And I can tell you that the ride has been incredible. There's been so many amazing things have come from this. But at the same time, there were a lot of struggles. There were a lot of times where I wasn't sure where I was going to get my next meal. There were a lot of times where, there were times I slept in my car. I was homeless for a while, no lie. There were times that I really didn't even know if I was going to be able to pay bills. But there were some great times too. So there's a lot of stories that I'm going to share in the upcoming videos. I don't want to give everything here at once, but I can tell you that in 2000, and really it was 2001, 2002, I can't remember, but that's really where my life took a turn, and I decided to give up the path that I had with my degree. I majored in criminal justice. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from West Liberty University. And I made the decision, instead of following that path with my degree, I was going to take a different path in the fitness industry. And again, it's 2019. So I've been on that journey for roughly 18 years, 17, 18 years, and it's been incredible. So I got a lot of stories I'm going to share with everybody, some good, some bad, but the business has been incredible. I've worked with thousands of people, impacted thousands of people's lives, and then adding the nutrition business into that It's just been absolutely incredible, just the things that we've been able to do and places we've went, and the number of people whose lives have been impacted. And from a financial perspective, it's been great as well. I mean, between the two businesses, probably earns close to a couple $1 million, and again, not some big time business guy, but I'm just some guy from a blue collar town in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, who created a business with a phone book and a cell phone. And through that journey of 18 years or so, have had, two businesses where I've been able to serve others, provide a value to others, and it's paid me close to $2 million. So again, I want to talk more on the business aspect of that. I want to talk more on how I can help others in business. I want to teach you how to stay healthy. I mean, this is something where, moving forward, I'm going to have a lot of content, and that content is going to cover a lot of areas from fitness to nutrition, to business, to life. And again, last but not least, I just want you to know and understand that I am a man of God, a man of faith. And I know that without God, none of this that's happened in my life would be possible. So we're even going to talk about faith a little bit, because again, I just want those out there who just really want to understand what it means to be a follower of Jesus, to understand how it impacts my life. Okay. So maybe that's not you, and maybe that's not for you. And I get that, and that's okay. Tune in for the other stuff, because you're going to love the other stuff too. But, again, you never know what might stir in your heart. But again, I just want to say thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to just kind of sharing with you my life. And if my life in any way, shape, or form can make an impact in your life, then great. Just know this, whatever impact it's made in your life, just pay it forward to others. That's all I ask. Because I'm not going to be sharing anything with you that wasn't poured into me from somebody else. Okay. So again, I'm not some super genius guy here. I'm just a small town guy from rural Ohio. But a lot of people have taken the time to pour into me and to make an impact in my life. And I just want to do the same for others. So you pay it forward to the people that you know. All right. All right. Eddie Christian, C34 Personal Training. Love you guys. Have a great day. And God bless you.